Howdy, welcome back to Wobble Enjoy Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you're a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Let's get stuck into round number 8 of the 2025 NRLW season. Round 8 starts on Saturday from 1:45 in the afternoon from Belmore. The Bulldogs versus the Canberra Raiders, and it's the Bulldogs who are coming into the game as favourites. For the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, they went to Townsville last weekend and they weren't disgraced. They still provided a fair bit of trouble for the Cowboys in Townsville, whereas the Canberra Raiders, they got their first win of 2025 against an 11-woman Warriors side in Hamilton. Look, you make your own luck and it just is what it is. You just do what you can, whatever's put in front of you. So Raiders getting their first win of 2025 for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. They've got Alexis Tawaniae coming back into the fold. She starts in the front row. Quinlan and Preston have both been named. I don't know about Quinlan. She looked pretty rough coming off of the paddock at QCB Stadium, and Preston's still dealing with an MCL injury, so we'll see what happens with both of those players. And Monshao, Smythe, and ATK, that is the back row. Interchanges Pryor, Manu, Fotu Moala, and Hopawate. So Hope Millard and Uilu have been dropped. So too has Sully Rooker. For the Canberra Raiders now, Mona Lisa Soliola is out due to a potential season-ending injury. For the rest of the team now, so Isabella Waterman is back on the Sting, and the forward pack, Jordan Preston for now and Taufa, that's the back row for them. The interchange is Barnes, Kemp, Boyle, and Matua. I will tip the Bulldogs. I think it's going to be very easy for everyone to overlook the Raiders. I know they're not playing very good footy, the Canberra Raiders, but the forward pack can still give this new Bulldogs outfit a run for their money. But I think at their spiritual home ground, for the first time ever, Bulldogs, I think, will win this game 1-12. The second game on Super Saturday is from the Gold Coast. It is the Titans versus the Dragons from 3:15 in the afternoon. The Gold Coast Titans, they're coming into the game as $1.45 favourites. The Dragons, they are $2.75. For the Gold Coast Titans, in regards to team list news, it looks like that they are unchanged after last weekend's efforts. There might be a couple of changes in between the team, but yeah, they're pretty much the same team that fought valiantly against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks last weekend. It was right there. It was right there for them. It would have been very nice for the Titans to beat the Sharks just quietly, who sit in 5th position, just one win behind the Cowboys, but maybe next time. For the St. George Illawarra Dragons, they went down in a competitive game against the West Tigers, but yeah, kind of surprising that they, look, a credit to the Tigers, not taking anything away from them, but yeah, kind of surprising the Dragons really weren't, they didn't do anything in the first half kind of thing. Just really good possession and defence from the West Tigers in that contest. So for the Dragons, it all looks to be unchanged in the back line, but Hannah Southwell is out due to suspension. So Mull, Hall and Wilson start. Lendl, Basham, Costa are the back row, and then the interchanges Shipton, O'Brien, Trinity Tawaniae and McGregor. Nita Maynard Perrin has been named on the reserves. Yeah, this is really tough to call. $2.75 about the Dragons against this Titans outfit that don't have a lot of points in them at the moment. I think they haven't let me down yet, and I've got to stick my neck out somehow, some way. So I think the Dragons can. I think the Dragons can break a bit of a losing streak going on at the moment and go to the Gold Coast and pick up a victory. But it's only going to be 1-12. This is going to be a very close game either way. The third game on the Saturday afternoon starts at 5:15 from Combank Stadium. Parramatta Eels versus the Sydney Roosters. Odds for this game and for the rest of the games in this weekend's round have not been released, but you'd imagine that the Parramatta Eels would be sitting at about that $4 range, in my opinion. The Sydney Roosters about that $1.20 range. For the Parramatta Eels now, it looks like that Mia Middleton, ex-North Queensland Cowboy, who did make her first grade debut a couple of years ago, is... I think it might just be her second. If not, she might be making her club debut this weekend. I'll try and... she returns this weekend. She plays at centre. So Fleur Jin actually shifts to the 5'8" role because Rosemary Beckett is out. Mia Middleton plays in the centres, so that's awesome to see. Good to see. The forward pack is unchanged after last weekend. Todd Hunter, Travis McWilliams and Chloe Jackson. So Riverlee Arlo is on the reserves. And Ruby Jean Kennard Ellis also sitting on the reserves for the Parramatta Eels. For the Sydney Roosters, Bridie Parker plays at fullback, and Frizard is officially named on the Sting, and Jocelyn Kelleher and Taryn Aiken are in the halves. Best of wishes to Corbin Baxter. I don't think it's been quite confirmed yet, but the rumours floating about is that she has done her ACL again. Dude, it was right on the stroke of halftime. The worst possible time for it to go. So best of wishes in recovery to Corbin Baxter. But the Sydney Roosters, on a bright side, on a positive note, if there's one that can be taken from it, is that they won the premiership without Corbin Baxter in 2024. So that is a positive, but it's awful news for Corbin Baxter. For the forward pack here, it looks like Nasio, Strange and Koenig start this weekend. Wood, Carlisle, Amber Hall and Lopamua round out the interchange. Roosters, they played in dry sunny conditions at the Central Coast against the Newcastle Knights in a really, really big game. And I could not have been any more impressed with the way that they played. They did make 15 errors, but when passes stuck, they were so effective. Their side-to-side movements and everything else in between was fantastic. They are such a well-oiled machine. It's going to take a lot to beat them. You've got to be the best defensive team in the competition to beat the Sydney Roosters in 2025. Moving into the 3 Sunday games, and this Sunday in the NRLW is absolutely massive. 3 awesome contests to look forward to, in my opinion. Unfortunately, the odds have not been released, but starting with the first one, it starts at 11:50 in the morning. It's the Newcastle Knights versus the Brisbane Broncos in the game of the round. I would suggest that the Broncos would be about $1.80 favourites. Newcastle sitting at $2. That's how I would market it. So for the team list news here for the Newcastle Knights, it looks like that their 1-13 is unchanged, but on the interchange, Tanau has come in, and that is the only change there. So Simone Kapani is out for the Newcastle Knights. Bo Vetti Welsh also actually coming back into fullback for Lillian White. So there was an issue there for BVW last weekend, and I think you could say that she was a pretty big loss. She was a big loss, and it was felt last weekend. For the Brizzy Broncos, their 1-7 is unchanged. There's always a bit of action in their forward pack. So Brianna Clark returns to the fold, and she will play in jersey 10. Lauren Dam, Teitzel Joseph is the back row, and the interchange is Brill, Lenarduzzi, Shisolka, and Suaso. And that's just about it. This is going to be an awesome game of footy. Knights were good. Knights were good last weekend. It did blow out in the end. I don't think the scoreline quite resembles how close and tough of a contest it was. But the Brisbane Broncos, they were very impressive against Parramatta Eels. And the Eels, they've been really stout in 2025. So to see that scoreline between a Broncos and Eels side, especially when the week before the Brisbane Broncos leaked 28 points against the Raiders, that was pretty impressive to see what the Brisbane Broncos did last weekend. My heart is telling me Newcastle. My mind is telling me Brisbane Broncos. These two sides have played some crackerjack contests in the past. Oh, man. Really, really difficult, but I can't go past the Brisbane Broncos. I think they'll go to Newcastle and just eke out a victory 1-12. The second game on Sunday is from FMG Stadium in Hamilton, Warriors versus the Sharks. Again, there are no odds for this game just yet. I'd probably suggest it to be $1.90 each way. This is really, really tough to call, in my opinion. So going straight into the New Zealand Warriors lineup. So they've got some pieces returning. So Arapi'i Nichols, she is playing in at fullback. The rest of the back line is Watere, Atai, Baker, Takimoana, Maliepo, and Paki. Emanita Paki playing halfback. Oh, that's because Emily Curtin is out for the season. Bugging me dead. Emanita Paki playing halfback. I haven't seen that before. The forward pack here, Fotu Mawala, Turua Kedley, and Kitai, Lavinia Kitai. The back row is Pukatapu, Ellie, and Albert Jones. I would have thought Albert Jones would have been popping into halfback. Interchange is Pakau, Butler, Matapo, and Lauatiti. That rounds out the interchange bench for them. Matakino Gray, she's named in the reserves, but I don't think she will. And Ikanasio has also been named on the reserves, but they're going to be suspended for sure. So going into the Cronulla Sharks lineup now, Grace Lee Weeks is playing centre because Anessa Biddle dislocated her elbow last weekend, so her season is done. Grace Lee Weeks will be playing centre, but the rest of the back line is unchanged. The forward pack, Johnston, Anderson, and Faulkner. Takapatolo, Kirioratu. Well, Kirioratu was sent to the sin bin last weekend, wasn't she, for a potential hip drop, or has that been dispelled? Okay, so Kirioratu has been named. Maybe she will be suspended, but she has been named. Holmes rounds out the back row, and the interchange for them is Tyler King, Carter, Davis Welsh, and Caitlin Johnston-Green. Jada Taylor named as 18th player for the Cronulla Sharks, and that's about it. This is super hard. I think if Emily Curtin was playing, I'd be a little bit more confident in what I was about to say, but I've just never seen Emanita Paki play halfback before. Wing, centre, fullback, yeah, sure. But I've never seen Paki play halfback. So Maliepo, she's had an outstanding rookie year, but the rookie is going to have to really, really take the bull by the horns in this one. The Sharks last weekend against the Gold Coast Titans were so lucky to walk away with those 2 points. They're just only in patches this year. Much like the men's team, they've only been able to show glimpses of their best, and it's super frustrating for a neutral. But for a Sharks fan, you'd be absolutely gritting your teeth to the point that they are cracking. Whoa. I'm gonna go the New Zealand Warriors. I think they will be pretty pissed off that they lost to the Canberra Raiders last weekend. Raiders down at the bottom of the ladder. They were ill-disciplined, but they were able to stick it out and get really close to the Canberra Raiders. 20-16, they went down by the Canberra Raiders. So they were able to get really close, even though they played with 11 women for the best part of about 50 minutes or thereabouts. It's just the Paki at halfback, I don't know. So Lation, Albert Jones, and Maliepo really going to have to step up this weekend. And yeah, I'm going to go the New Zealand Warriors to win this game 1-12. And the final game of round number 8 is from Leichhardt Oval. The West Tigers host the North Queensland Cowboys. This kicks off at 6:15 in the evening for the West Tigers. They are unchanged after their first victory of 2025 against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Super impressive in that first half. This just controlled possession and dominated in the forwards and played really well out on the edges, and so happy to see Chatai Faifua really stand out. She's been doing a rock solid job all year for the West Tigers, but she really helped them to their 2 points last weekend. So awesome stuff for the ex-North Queensland Cowboy. And besides that, that is it for anything for the West Tigers. They're pretty much unchanged. Just a couple of new faces on the reserves. For the best defensive team in the NRLW throughout the first 7 rounds of the North Queensland Cowboys, there are some changes. So we'll go through them. So 1 down through to 7 is unchanged. The forward pack here, Mackenzie Wheel and Peacock start together with Emma Manzelmann in at hooker. The back row, Talisha Harden is out. China Palata makes her 2025 debut. Her return with the Cutters over the past fortnight has proven to be successful, and she returns from an ACL injury. So fantastic to see China Palata back in. Not too sure who she's going to be lining up against. It could be Portia Burke, or it could be Kezi Apps that China Palata lines up against. Hayley J. Ormond-Maunsell and Bree Chester are also the back rowers. And then the interchange reads Ford, Yarrow, Dick and Barnu. Rosie Kelly has been named as 18th player, and Tiana Rafstrand-Smith is also floating around there on the reserves. Cowboys 13 plus. Howdy everyone, thank you very much for the continuous support. Hope you enjoyed the video and enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you, take care, adios.